Y'all's getting a weird angle today. So, about that was a feeling like I had to sneeze that did not come to fruition. So, 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, I'm applying for a job through this staffing agency. You know, you go to the staffing agency, you submit your resume to them. They have a whole bunch of, clients, employers that are looking for people to fill some positions. And so it's basically just a middleman that, gets you a temporary position that could potentially lead to a permanent position. So my friend at the staffing agency, who honestly was a really genuinely nice guy before I tell this story. He was a good dude. He is a good dude. He's about my age too. So it was a little embarrassing seeking help from somebody my own age. But anyway, so he asks me some practice interview questions. And one of them is where do you see yourself in 5 years? Given obviously when people ask that question, they're not asking it honestly. They're asking given that everything that you're planning on happens. And I said, on the spot, I worded it probably much better than I'll word it right now, but stuff about taking care of my responsibilities, developing better habits, really, really frugal spending, making sure I got a really solid, financial safe nest, whatever they call it, nest egg, all this kind of stuff. I mentioned having a career that fulfills me, that I feel utilizes my skills, getting in the early processes of starting my own business, generally just appreciating the opportunities that I've been afforded. And at the end of it, he says, okay, Joseph, because of course I go by Joseph on my job applications. I can go by Joe once I make it through to the employment stage. But he says, okay, Joseph, do not change a single word about what you just said, because that was fantastic. Except for that part about starting your own business, because that could lead the employer to be under the impression that you are only planning on some maybe temporary employment with them before, you sort of start your own thing and go off on your own direction. So don't say that little part, but everything else, great. Man, did that ever just teach me a great big lesson, in the blink of an eye, which is that, yeah, employers don't want you there for a month or 3 months or 6 months, especially when you get to more prestigious, higher ladder kind of positions. They want you there for a lifetime. You're theirs, and they're going to sink their claws into you, and they'll throw little incentives your way, and just enough to keep you somewhat satisfied. You won't be satisfied, but you'll be satisfied enough that it'll be too hard. It's like what Apple does. They just make it too hard to break away from them. Or I shouldn't, put Apple out there. Google's just as bad in that regard. A lot of things are just as bad in that regard. But your employer creates a nice little prison for you that they pad with some little comforts that keep you from actually losing your mind. Sometimes. Yeah, that was just really, really depressing to hear. Okay, everything about that was great, except for that part about potentially following your own ambitions. All I said was start a business. I didn't say anything about that being my full-time income. What if I just wanted some passive income, on the side? And not passive necessarily, but some part-time income when I'm not doing this job. No, Joseph, that might distract from the underlying goal of this company, which is that they drain all the energy and resources that they can out of you, because all of that stuff within you needs to go toward the company's bottom line. That's how I'm feeling these days. I got into another office position after years of avoiding being in an office, or at least a formal office setting. I had a semi-office job for a year or so. Yeah, being in this real formal, clocking in and doing what you're supposed to when you're supposed to kind of deal. It's not working so well for me, and I don't want to say too much about it because there really are some good people around me. They're good people that are a part of a system that's, and I know I'm not alone in this, they're good people that are a part of a system that's just really, really holding me down and really keeping me from being authentic Joe.